Oi Brasil, olha eu aqui de novo com mais uma entrevista maravilhosa pra vocês. E dessa vez eu vou falar com um casal que promete deixar a sua vida muito mais quente. Eu tô falando de Dylan Sprouse e Virginia Gardner. Eles são as estrelas de Belo Desastre, um filme que conta a história de um galã muito do gostoso. Um filme que conta a história de Abby, uma menina que tem um passado em que ela era uma grande gênia do jogo e ela acaba tendo que se confrontar com uma situação do pai dela em que ela precisa salvá-lo. Nesse meio tempo, ela conhece ninguém mais, ninguém menos do que Travis, um lutador muito do bad boy, que vai ajudar ela e também que vai se apaixonar por ela. Eles vão morar durante 30 dias juntos e aí a magia acontece e o sexo acontece pencas. Então dá só uma olhada no meu papo com Dylan Sprouse e Virginia Gardner, de Belo Desastre.
What's up, Pigeon?
Where are we going?
We don't talk about the circle, it's a secret.
What's a secret?
Exactly. I give you Travis Maddow!
This isn't for me. I'm gonna go back to the dorm and study. Oh.
May I? To one. You standing here, I don't know if that's good for me. See you later, Pigeon.
You're not my type.
I'm everybody's type.
So hot.
No one's my favorite. It's too late to close it now.
Why are you here?
I'm just trying to take you to dinner. I'll pick you up at 8.
I must break you.
Go for it.
That's who you're fighting?
Is this your weird little way of admitting you like me?
I don't like you.
If he manages to lay a hand on me, I'll go without sex for a month.
Like a bet?
Yeah, and if I win, you have to stay with me for a month.
Ooh, you're on.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm amazing. Glad to talk to you guys. So,
Happy to talk to
Dylan, Travis is quite different character from what we've seen you do before. So, how was it for you to go like a rougher type on screen?
I mean, yeah, I guess that's true. I'd say the most difficult part was probably all the physical training incorporated. You know, this was a pretty physical role in general, and what with me trying to put on a little more muscle and learn how to box efficiently, it was a lot of training hours. So that was probably the hardest part.
And Virginia, Abby is this character that amazes because she starts as this typical good girl. And then we see her past, and she has a lot of layers to her. How was it for you to play this character that is like changing the whole movie?
It was really fun, and it was a fun one to play around with wardrobe as well, because we really tried to explain her character arc through clothes too, which was a really fun element to play around with. And it was fun to play a character that had such a kind of rich past and be able to learn poker to play her as well. So there was just so much complicated things happening with Abby. It was a really fun role to take on.
And guys, a big part of the story is the sexual tension between Abby and Travis. So how was it for you guys to shoot the more intimate scenes?
Well, we had a wonderful IC on set, which is an intimacy coordinator. So the truth was, it was effortless. Her name was Corinne Evans, and I have to say, this was my first time ever using an intimacy coordinator, and I think it was the most amazing experience. I think it's an industry standard that should definitely be more widespread, and I think that's brewing. But yeah, it wasn't awkward or weird, and she was just there to kind of make sure everything was okay at all times. And so, yeah, I think it was the best experience in that way.
But we also have this messy comedic sex scenes with a lot of mishaps. And how was it? Was it fun to you guys play with that? Because sex scenes with comedic scenes are not like so easy to watch. We don't see that often.
It was really fun to play with those elements. I mean, like Dylan said, we did have an IC there, making sure that everything was so safe. But that kind of also gave us the freedom to make it funny because we felt so safe. And I think that's more realistic in what sex can be like in real life. It can be messy and funny and silly and romantic and all of those things. So it was really fun to be able to create some intimate scenes that actually felt quite realistic to life. And like the Vegas hotel room scene was just fun to be destructive and get to destroy this entire hotel room. It was really fun.
I love that scene. It was amazing. And also I want to know, who you think is the audience for this movie? Like teenagers, not teenagers, right? People
well,
who are in
it
college,
is rated R.
Because it is rated R. I forgot that.
It is rated R. You know, I think that's the kind of fun part about this movie, though, is that it's surprising in how broad I think its audience is. That was a little bit of our like intention too, is to take, you know, this book that was very clearly aimed at like a romance audience and make it a little more open-ended in our adaptation. And there were a lot of changes in that regard, but in the movie adaptation, we wanted to make sure it kind of could attract all sorts of audience members. And I think we accomplished that with all the kind of humor and action and romance that was inside of it.
Dylan and I also spoke a lot on set about how it might be something that a boyfriend gets dragged to on a date, but then ends up actually being surprised with how much they like the film.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
And they will end up going home and having rough sex together.
You've got an interesting imagination.
That's great for that.
Yeah.
I do. I do. So you talk about you talking about adaptation, and when it's regarding adaptation, the fans always have like great expectations on what they want to see on screen, what they don't want to see. So what do you guys think that the fans of the book will think about this movie, and what do you think they're gonna dislike, and what do you think they're gonna like?
Well, it's hard for me to say, you know. Truth be told, I think there's a lot in this movie to really like. We did our research in terms of, I guess, how the characters were received by the fans online of the book, right? So we did a little bit of research into that, because I think that's the best rubric by which, as an actor, you can properly embody a character. Because even sometimes when you're reading the source material, it's easy to get caught up in your own bias, right? When you read, because you're only really seeing it through your eyes or thinking of it through your brain. So it's nice to see all of that lined up. And I think fans are going to take away that they're like pleasantly surprised at the accuracy of our representation. While at the same time, you know, the biggest changes that we were looking to do is to really modernize the characters and modernize the story for the current viewership. Because the book was written a while ago, and there's some, you know, themes in it that I think people would take differently to nowadays. So we wanted to make sure that it was kind of a movie that nowadays people would still walk away from without changing the characters drastically to the point of them being unrecognizable, you know?
Thank you guys so much for your time. Hope you have a lovely day over there in London. See you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Pack your bags, pigeon! You're coming home with me!
Don't let this happen. Don't cross this line, okay? Wall of China! Wow. What's this?
It's not a pen, I'll tell you that.
You embody everything that is wrong with your gender.
We can at least be friends.
Abby, get out of the way!
Friends, but with no benefits.
Whoa! What did I just get out of you?
Bom, gente, que entrevista foi essa? Super leve, adorei conhecer os dois, muito simpáticos, demos risada, eu sempre, né, falando besteira, oh meu Deus, ela acontece. Bom, Belo Desastre chega em breve aos cinemas, você tem que conferir. É um filme pra todo mundo assistir, principalmente se você tem um namorado, uma namorada, e você quer um lepo-lepo depois mais tarde. É isso, gente, não se esqueça de se inscrever no canal, ativar o sininho, comentar e compartilhar. Tá vendo no Instagram? Comenta e compartilha, já que não tem sininho. Aliás, Instagram, coloca um sininho. Beijo, até a próxima. Tchau, tchau.
I'm madly in love with you.
Shut up and just kiss me.
Hey, Abby, give me a hug. Hey, baby girl, don't greet her like this. It's too porny.
You know you want it.